Hello friends, and it's fun with bolsters again. This is Crystal Joy Johnson of CJoy Yoga online studio and wellness channel. So in this video we are going to do Supta Konasana, which is supine bound angle. And we're going to do a restorative version of it with the bolsters, right? So your bolster goes north-south. This is just how I think about my mat anyway, right? The long way. Take a blanket or a pillow or some such thing and put it on the back. This is going to be the back of our mat and the back of the bolster. Have blocks. If not blocks, you could take 2 pillows or 2 blankets to roll up. We're going to jam them underneath our knees. And I'm going to go full board here, and I'm going to talk about the use of a strap, hoping that someone out there has a strap, because it's really just divine. The more, the more props you use in these restorative poses and really just feel the support of them, they just become so much deeper for the central nervous system, right? So if you have a strap, you're going to take that strap. I already had a loop in mind, sorry. So I'm making a really wide, long strap. I am going to bring that strap, once I get my loop, over my back and pull it down, right? And then I bring my feet together, and I'm going to bring that strap through my inner thighs, but I put it around the back side of my feet, and then I'm going to pull that strap in. Now, before you pull too tight, 2 things. Don't ever pull too tight. B would be put your thumbs in there and pull it down so it's more on the top of the sacrum instead of in the low back. You don't want to pull on the low back. And then you want it to be enough to keep you in, but ultimately when you're trying to come out, it's nice to have it loose enough that you can slip a foot out of it, right? But no worries. You're just doing it for the first time. You're getting used to it, right? You figure it out eventually. I'm going to sit just a couple, 1, maybe 2 inches if even, in front of that bolster. You'll find out what's right for your body. By the way, you could have another blanket or pillow standing by. If this feels like it's too high, this bolster, you can put something under your buttocks so that the depth of that is not quite so extreme, right? I have those blocks on standby, and I start to lower myself down. Now right here, I get a beautiful opportunity to lengthen the spine and already start to create my upper back bend, right? I bring that blanket under so it's under my head, but not under my shoulders. And then I let my legs go to wherever their natural open position is. And then I'm going to bring them up a little bit from that, and I'm going to prop. I personally like to look, because my right leg likes to, doesn't go down as far as my left. So I like to make sure my left is at the same as my right. So I try to neutralize my pelvis, right? And then go ahead and lie back down. Take a moment and maybe lift those arms up and slide those shoulder blades down the back a little bit and bring those arms out. I find mine are a little further up as my comfort zone than, say, a Shavasana, but you're going to find out where that is for you, where you can find that open expansion of the shoulder, the collarbone, the chest. And I brought my phone this time. Again, I recommend this. Anytime you go into a restorative posture, it's so nice to not have to think about the time itself. And I'm going to guide us through a little preset here. I'm going to put it for 5 minutes. That will be here. When I do my personal practice, I usually do 8 to 12, depending on the day, the situation, etc. So once you get yourself all settled in, and I never recommend leaving the phone on you. Have it a little ways away from you. It does actually change the electromagnetic field by you. So, you know, not having it right up in your grill is pretty nice. The palms are up. And then we're going to start this unwinding. So I'm going to start you in the crown of your head. And think of the crown of the head softening. Think of your scalp softening, your forehead softening. The eyebrows, the muscles around the actual eyes. Bring your awareness to where your earlobe comes into the face, and just in front of that is where the hinge of the jaw is approximately, so soften at the hinge of the jaw. Your lips might even part a little bit, but we're still breathing through the nose. Always, always inhales and exhales through the nose. Soften the tongue. And if you bring your awareness to the back of the tongue, at the back of the mouth, the root of the tongue, we call it. If you soften that, you're softening all the way to the throat, because that's where the tongue attaches. So soften the throat and the neck. And the shoulders simultaneously soften away from the ears, but also down around that bolster. That's one of the beautiful benefits of the bolster. And just a reminder, if your low back does feel like this is too extreme, put a cushion underneath your buttocks to bring the buttocks up a little bit. Soften across the shoulders, down into the upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, and fingers. And then bring the awareness up into the chest and the upper back, softening through that middle rib cage area, belly and the low back. Maybe just taking a moment while we're in that torso area, still giving love to all of the organs that are in that area of the body, right? From the chest all the way down through to the belly and the pelvis. Bringing the awareness into the pelvis. And just letting that pelvis be nice and heavy, softening down to the earth. Softening the upper legs, the knees, the lower legs, ankles, feet, and toes. Keeping that body physically soft. You can tune into the sounds that are in the room with you. And remember, anytime that the mind wanders off, it's okay, no big deal. Just bring it back to wherever we are. Right now we're listening to the sounds, we're taking in the sounds that are in the room with us. And my voice could be included in that. And then bring your awareness to the sounds outside of your room, outside of the space you're in. And then can you hear all of the sounds globally? Not separating them out, but rather just letting them wash through you. And I always find that a listening meditation is interesting because for me, it often brings up judgment. I don't like this sound. Ooh, I like this sound. I'll take more of that, right? And so then we get to kind of observe that as well. So trying to drop judgment and just let it be a global intake, we'll call it, of the sounds around you. And our bell just went off. Again, as always, if you are in a really great place and you feel relaxed and you have the time, please stay there. If you're on a time constraint, we're going to try and wiggle our toes out of the strap, right, or at least one of them. And then hands can come onto the knees to help the legs come back up, or the thighs, I should say, to come off of the bolster. Again, I like to do that, reaching whatever arm I'm going to roll over. So I'm rolling to the left, I'm going to reach my left arm over, and that way it gives me a little prop, and my right hand can come down so I don't completely plop off the bolster, and I'm in the fetal position. Head turns down, and I push the floor away and start to push myself on up. I personally love height. It's so much easier on the pelvis. And you may not think you need it now, but hopefully when we do this kind of stuff, it's preventative. We never cause issues in our pelvis and our legs and low back, etc. Just notice. So that pose, that and legs up the wall, which is one of the other videos I made for you, are they're my go-tos, right? I love many, but those two are the most universal to me. This one, every time I have any kind of menstrual anything going on, or digestive issues going on, or in general I'm just feeling extremely stressed out, I do this one a lot before I go to bed at night, or even while I'm falling asleep. Without all the props, I might just put pillows underneath my thighs and lay that way for a few minutes before I try to fall asleep, etc. But again, that's me. Did this feel beneficial? What about it felt beneficial? And what about it would cause you to want to come back to it again, right? You start to find and build your practice based on what your body wants. Bring the palms together in front of the chest, inhale. Exhale, bowing the head in and just taking a moment of gratitude for at least one thing. Inhale lifts the head. Exhale brings down the thighs. Inhale, open the eyes. Namaste, friends.